What's going on, everybody? It's Chris Battagli. This is episode 6 of Marketing Mandems, and today it's a very special day. We're joined by the legend, Samuel Miele, Vision Luxx, baby.
What's up, baby?
19 years old, doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for in real life, not these internet fucking guys.
Not drop shipping?
In real life, not drop shipping, not e-com, not selling a course. Real life, real money. Sam, thanks for coming on the pod, man.
Buddy, you know what? It's cool to talk about marketing and kind of give out the secrets that we use, and I mean it's fitting too because we've transferred from one-off projects to now monthly contracts, doing branding, creating growth structures for clients, showing the systems that we have in place to manage 100 projects plus a month. You know, still a process. You're always worried about capacity, but.
Of course.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Man, so you work with a lot of realtors. Can you give us one thing that you wish all of your realtor clients would do tomorrow to like 10x their social media or their marketing game?
You know what? You got your iPhone. Honestly, what I would say is just sit down for 30 minutes a day. If it's at 5 o'clock in the morning or if it's at 7 p.m. at night, middle of the day, it's going to be too hard, but set the phone up and just react to certain things. React to the news, use the green screen effect. Gary Vee does it all the time. Shout out to Andrew Perry because the guy started copying Gary Vee, started doing it about the real estate market. But it's working and people like it. And be controversial. You have to be controversial. Why do you think your podcast does so well?
Yeah. Oh, I know, baby.
He knows.
Yeah, you have to ruffle some feathers. Not even as long as it's authentic. I'd say just like say what you believe. Like you don't have to go with the flow of like everything. That's the biggest thing. Okay.
Speak your opinion. Like that's the biggest thing, man. People want to say the same stuff over and over again. And you know, when the conversation comes up, like what kind of content should I create? Yeah, it's kind of the same for everybody in the sense where it's like, are you going to post YouTube videos, podcasts, reels, do blogs? You're going to create landing pages? Like, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's customizing it to who you are and figuring out what we can best spend your budget on. I sat down with a guy this morning and we started talking about, you know, he's a startup, but he raised a lot of capital for a tech company. And it's really cool. But I said, you know, where's your money going to go? Are you trying to fund and find more capital, find investors? Or are you trying to get your, you know, robots in 10 stores? Which one do you want? Because you don't have $1 million to spend spend it in a year to do both. So you got to choose. You got to figure out what it is you want to push for. Am I going to push for clients, followers, engagement? Am I going to push for to build a personal brand and expect that to build me business? I don't know. You know, I think a lot of people are just kind of like throwing money at a problem when they're not taking a step back and thinking, hold on a second, let me just figure out what I want to do, figure out what I want, pick one thing, be decisive, say, okay, I'm going to start doing that now. Put all your money into that one thing and it'll do well. It's not negotiable.
Question, because that builds off what I was going to ask next. You obviously deal with a lot of like incoming clients now, which is great. People that want help from you, businesses, entrepreneurs, whatever. What's like the most common problem you see when someone's coming to you for help? Like, what do you see over and over again where you're like, this is like a recurring theme for like a small business owner and entrepreneur that's coming to work with you guys at Vision Luxx?
Most people, when they're creating content, don't know how to tap into who they are. They see everything else. They see, oh, this person's winning at this. This person's winning at this. They feel overwhelmed. They feel bombarded. And they just don't know how to captivate people with just being them. That's the problem. Like they want to be Gary Vee. Well, you're not Gary Vee. There's a reason, like you're not Gary Vee. It's just simple.
Yeah, we
right?
already have Gary Vee.
We already have Gary Vee. We don't need another Gary Vee, right? So we need somebody else that creates content and showcase that content in a different way. Okay, here's a good thing that I always get asked on every single discovery call because we work with a lot of real estate agents and mortgage guys and insurance guys in the area. Okay, what do you do? Like, how do I know I'm not going to be treated or my content isn't going to be the same as another person that you work with? You know what I say? Number one, you just have to trust me as a person. My morals are not going to be, I'm going to sell the same shit to 10 different people. And number two, they're not you. Especially if you're a one-man show, if you're a mortgage guy, if you're a real estate agent, if you're an insurance guy, finance guy, you are the brand.
Yep.
You are look at Rob Golfi. It's Golfi. Golfi is the brand, right?
Golfi got it sold, baby.
Golfi gets it sold. It's as simple as that, right?
We all know who you're talking about.
There you go. He's got $1 million+ a year in billboards. and he's winning because it's his brand. He's embraced his brand. There you go.
It's exactly. There you go. Yeah.
There's the brand.
Yeah, no, he's authentic, right? Like, and that's the thing. Like, what you're saying is, people need to come in and make content and be authentic on camera, or however the medium you're using to communicate. But it's about authenticity. Yeah.
So is there a way? Sorry, is there a way that you get that out of people? Like, or is it just like you just kind of like, no, you need to be authentic to yourself, and you hope that they bring that to the table?
So, man, that's such a good question because I get asked that all the time when I'm in the calls. The number one thing is, and this is like a double-edged sword, but it's the type of person you're filming with. You know, I'm not going to try to sound salesy, but when I'm sitting behind a camera, I'm telling you, I'm calling you on your BS. Ask Nick Loris when I sat with him behind the camera for his first time doing like a YouTube video in studio, and we just did one simple 5 to 7 minute long YouTube video, and I was like, no, not good enough. I need more energy. Arch your back more. Give me a little bit more of you. All right. Like, I want to know more of you. And then you just help them present off of that. I think it's important for people to understand. I watch somebody who might not be as engaging, but if they have a good story, it's engaging. They could talk so slow, but if you're talking about a murder mystery, who we just interviewed on our podcast on cruise ships, it was engaging as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's a good story, which everybody has good stories in certain industries, and as the more experience you get, okay, if you like, here's an example. You're an experienced mortgage guy, all right? Tap into the experiences you have, okay? You'll be able to talk about stories all the time, and that is what people engage in. But okay, say Sam just got into real estate. What am I going to go do? I'll tell you this right now. If I just got into real estate, I'm going to go contact other agents and say, hey, do you want to collab? Number one, leverage their following, because their following is obviously interested in real estate or something like it. So I'm going to leverage their following. And in return, I'm going to do a free video. I'm going to pay for the video guy to come out and film a podcast or something like that. Podcast, number one thing. I think it's just important that you figure out what that specific person is about, and the guy behind the camera needs to draw that out of that person, right? Say, it's okay to be who you are. Now, the double-edged sword is, it's hard for me to scale a company if I'm not filming all the time and people enjoy filming with me.
Right.
So we could get into that too, but that's a whole other thing, which, honest to God, you know, kind of figuring out right now.
Like, you end up playing director a lot, and clients are like, your customers are like, no, I want to work with Sam.
Yes.
Like, I want you, I'm paying for you. Right?
And I've thought about this decision. I was like, oh my God, am I in an unscalable business? Like, seriously, I hit that thought. Imposter syndrome hits.
I don't think you're in an unscalable business. I think it's very hard to scale human intensive businesses.
True. Yeah. And that goes back to your question. How do you bring that out of people?
Yeah. So is there a way that you can almost bring it out of the people that you're working with to try and get them to do something similar? Like, is there a way that you can maybe, like, I know that's kind of more towards like training and like,
it comes down to hiring, and you hire for personality. It's interesting. Shout out to Ashley, my admin. You know, she might make a mistake here and there, and granted, I never gave her like full-blown good 2-week training, 8 hours a day or anything like that. She went in right away, balls to the walls, just started. And the number one thing is when I was looking to hire an administrative person, because they are honestly like the glue that holds most people together in a company, right? They are like the mother. And Ashley, I would say, is like that. The number one thing is the personality. I was able to call Ashley at 9:30 at night and talk to her about a client issue, about a booking and whatnot, and what I should do and get advice. 9:30 at night. You know, that's not normal, right? Yeah. And I think it's important when you're hiring people, same in videography, find people with good personalities you can teach the skill set. I mean, filming isn't the most impossible thing. There's a lot of good people. Find the people that bring it out of you. I think also to tap on, is it an unscalable business or not? Here's what I've done to go against, you know, okay, crap, I can't be at every single filming session. Here's the thing. If we have monthly clients that pay us X amount a month to film X amount of videos, right? And help them create a growth structure for their plan. I started implementing monthly calls. Monthly calls every single month, 1 hour guaranteed. We hold you accountable to it. We have it in our system to send you a booking 30 days before. Hey, we'd like to book a call with you halfway before the month even ends for the next month to help plan out the idea with Sam only. And then from there, I have my guys on the call to see and hear the ideas, hear how I talk, So a year comes from now and I'm like, I'm so busy. I can't even do the calls anymore. Okay. Hey, Val, you're so experienced. Or hey, Kevin, you're so experienced now. You've seen me call all the time for the last 12 months. You're good to do it now.
Right.
It's setting that expectation. Same goes for when I set the expectations for editing. Hey, clients, I don't edit this. There you go. Hey, clients, I don't film this. In that process right now, right? Hey, clients, I don't do the calls anymore. And it's okay, where's the added value? So when that value gets taken out of Sam, where's Sam adding his value?
Well, that's the thing. You have to transition now to a leader, right? It's leadership.
Yeah.
It's management of people. That's the thing that people don't understand about scaling a business. Not you. I mean,
No,
people
but
in
yeah,
general.
you're right.
But like they're like, oh, I love working in the business. Then they're like working on the business, and they're like, oh, I want to do this. But it's like if you actually grow the business, you end up in a management leadership position. That's where you always end up.
It's a people game.
It's always,
such
no
a
matter
people
what.
game.
Yeah.
You can't fight against it. And I'm glad that you said that, because like your business, you can't be the one serving the coffee.
I can't be in multiple places at once.
No,
Yeah,
you can't. Like
Yeah.
it's impossible, right? So I think what's interesting about that is you need to understand it's a people game. You know, I did say this. I was actually saying this to Nick, our co-op student, who's fantastic and really learns a lot from me. Just following me around every single day, sits in on all of our meetings. One of the things I told him was, you know, Nick, I'm excited for when I'm 22, 23 years old. I've been in this business for 4 or 5
so
years.
young.
Yeah, I know. I know, right?
Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
So if you think about it, if I say, oh, I've been in this business for 5 years, that would mean that I'm only 22.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's fucking
the
crazy.
advantage about that is when I'm at 22 years old, if I want to start another business, I can literally skip the part of trying to save the capital, because I'm just going to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to find 2 investors right now, give me the money, and I'll just start right away at the people game. I'm working my way up in a people game right now. People say it's important to start a service business because you learn so much in that first business. Like look at you're in a service business right now.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in a mixed kind of.
Yeah, it's a product service. You're more product.
With coffee, it's mixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee's
Because the
definitely.
shop is a service.
Coffee's mixed, yeah, because we have coffee's been great to learn in, because we have a consumer packaged good product where we're selling online, we're doing wholesale, so B2B, we have that end of it, and then we also have, you know, a retail experience and a hospitality experience.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of facets there, which has been good for me because the learning curve has been so exponential. But to
And
what
actually,
you're
hold
saying,
on, it's funny because you started doing. I remember you started doing the whole e-com thing,
Bro,
and then you
I
started doing the
drop
marketing.
shipped, I did
you
marketing.
did marketing.
Yeah.
So I think what's important is your first job. Or your first business as an entrepreneur. Like if you're going to be the guy that builds 10 businesses and sells his first one for 500 grand and sells his next one for 2 million, then his next one for 5, then his next one for 25, then his next one for 100, his next one for a few billion, then you need to be able to start. Like you don't have enough time in your lifetime to do that, to be able to start at this stage down here, right? So you got to figure out a way that if I'm going to start here, ground zero, learning process, bring it up to here, then when I start, hey, I want to do a completely separate company. God knows what that looks like. I don't know. But I don't have to start from ground zero. Am I going to start at the peak? No, because I'm in a startup phase again, but I'm going to skip ground zero and start right here in the middle.
Right.
So then when I go back up, now I'm starting in the middle here. Back up, starting in the middle here.
The other thing too is
up.
like, bro, your skill set, even if it's not the same business or even close to the same, your skill set's gonna stack
going up
massively, right?
Yeah.
Like if I went to zero tomorrow, I know I could get the coffee business to where it is in literally like probably 1/10 to 1/20th of the time that it took me the first time.
It's
Just
true.
because I had to learn so many skills on the way, like so many skills that I was like, oh, I made so many mistakes, right? Went in the wrong direction so many times. So yeah, your skills stack, and that's the best part.
I think, you know, if I was going to do anything different in my business, I can't say I would because I was 17. My mom was driving me to, you know, photo shoots.
Yeah.
How
I'm
did
not
you
even joking with my clients.
How did you even get into it?
So so long story short, I was editing Fortnite videos and just loved like photo, video, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was my true joy then to edit and film. And I tried doing the whole YouTube thing, tried being Casey Neistat, you know, cringy videos, made fun of in high school, that kind of thing. And then from there, in grade 12, I was like, grade 11, I was like, I need to start making some serious money. Like, how can I make $2,000 a month doing this? You know, because like Fortnite videos, I'm getting paid like $20 for a 1 minute edit. It takes me a couple hours to do. It's rewarding, but after a year, I was doing that. I think I made like $1,100 that year. I actually have my PayPal stubs to prove that. But $1,100 in 1 year of doing Fortnite video edits, okay, and like Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And from there, I said, okay, I got to make some serious money. So I cold called a real estate agent, Tracy Phelan, and I actually recorded the call. It was about 45 minutes. What I did was I DM'd a bunch of people on LinkedIn. And then from there, I said, hey, this is what I can do for you for 3 weeks of completely free services. I took Google images from online of homes, put them into Canva documents, and then filled out a fake description and then sent it to them on LinkedIn and said, hey, this is what we can do. And then showed them famous TikToks and said, hey, we can do this to leverage your brand from Toronto and bring it down into Niagara. I wasn't doing it. I had no portfolio, but there wasn't an excuse. It was like, I'm going to just take what other people are doing, say, hey, I can do this. So when you do start and you have you are ground zero, it is a little bit of BS, but at the same time, you can't expect the world handed to you when you're trying to BS.
Yeah, you were BSing a bit, but you were offering
free
stuff. Work.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I knew it was
how
worth
mad
nothing.
can they be? You're doing it for free, and it's like
and the hardest thing, I said this to Nick, and he agrees with it, but a lot of people take it the wrong way. When you start a business, especially from ground zero, like as young as I am, or even as young as you guys are, like you're worth nothing. You're not worth anything. Like, don't get it in your head like you deserve the world, or you can charge $10,000 a month for something. Like, you need to get some foot in the ground. Like, you need to get some actual clients. You need to like build an example of work, a portfolio. And then from there, you're actually worth something. Like, you can provide value. I couldn't provide any value. I couldn't provide quality content. I couldn't provide timely content. I could provide a passionate young kid who just wanted to do stuff.
To try,
Who wanted to try. And it was free. So, I mean, somebody's got to be smart enough to take it.
What do you think? What do you think the reason was that while everybody was like drinking, partying at 17, like doing bullshit, not caring about money?
Man.
Why do you think you were different?
Why?
I struggle with the answer. That's a really good question. I struggle with the answer to that one, and I always question myself on it. I don't know what makes me me, and I hope someday that I do a TED Talk on what made me different. I actually have a half speech written on my computer answering this question. And I think the conclusion that I've allowed myself to come to for now was I had some personal things where I saw, people drinking around me that I just didn't want to be like that. And I think that was presented to me through my parents teaching me work ethic. I remember I wanted to buy like a $40 item on Minecraft one time. And I said to my mom, can you buy this for me? Every kid expects their parents to they're always going to ask, like, can you buy PS5 for me or this or that or whatever, right? She never said no. She always gave me the opportunity to work for it and earn the money to be able to pay for it. That's what taught me that work ethic. And I think that I got addicted to that. I think that work ethic and proving myself and earning that money, I was so addicted to. And on top of that, the other thing too was, I feel like I had a lot to prove and I think subconsciously and consciously now as I'm older, with a little bit of, talking to some people with some help, but I had people in high school would make jokes and, I always dish school. Like I said, I'm never going to college, university. And I said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be a successful entrepreneur. And I think I had a vendetta against them. Like I just wanted to stick to them. And I think that made me not want to be a part of the crowd. I did have a lot of FOMO when I was in high school. And I think a lot of people struggle with that fear of freedom when leaving high school makes them want to go to school. That's a big problem because I remember when I was in school and then I graduated from high school, I was so afraid to not go to school because of the amount of freedom I had. On top of, FOMO, missing out, I think I had a vendetta against a lot of people and it was just anger. Like I think if I'm being honest, like a lot of like anger drove me when I was in high school to like build my business.
It's a good motivator.
It was a great motivator, but it was the most unfulfilling thing when I kind of reached a goal of I'm going to bring in this amount of money a month. And then I did that in high school when I was 17 and it was the most unfulfilling thing I had done. And it honestly just like made me flip a switch. And then from there, like I had the typical, like you'll probably have the same idea. Like, me and my dad, really hard worker, great mentor, but you always felt like you weren't, nothing you did was perfect or good enough. And, you know, they would argue with that. And like my dad could watch this and maybe argue with that. And I don't say it in a mean way. Like as you get older, you understand your parents more. Like I understand my dad way more and everything that he does. And I actually catch myself being like that with my sister or with my friends. You know, they'll tell me about something that they're excited about. And then I'll realize it later. Like, oh my God, I shot them down by not even asking follow-up questions and showing interest. And I think that you care so much that you want them to do well and you want to tell them everything that they have to do well. But everything that I learned was through messing up and then embracing it. I think those are the two things. That was such a good question. It's a loaded answer.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of things. I think it's a lot of things. But being given the opportunity to work, you know, hey, Sam, you can go pull weeds. You know, at 10 years old, I hated pulling weeds, but I wanted that. I wanted that skeleton in Minecraft so bad that I went and I pulled weeds for 4 hours, $10 an hour.
So did you feel any pressure from your parents or anybody to go to like post-secondary, like to go to college, university?
Oh, buddy, we had this conversation.
We did. I'll answer that question. I'll make that one quick. No, my mom, not at all, whatsoever.
What was the conversation like?
She supported me all the time. Yeah. She always showed interest in what I was doing. And when I was going to school, like, you know, I didn't drop out of high school. Could I have? I kind of wish I did because I think like one day, you know, when I become a billionaire, I can say like I dropped out of high school in 2020. Like nobody's done that. You know, I don't know. It's a pride thing. I don't think I really care. But my dad, I felt a little bit of pressure because I didn't want to let him down. I would like, he's in finance. I would have walked into a really, really good paying job right out the get-go without any problems. And I think I would have really excelled at it, but I had to do 16 months of school in order to be allowed to join Investors Group. And a month before I just backed out. And you know what? I think my mom talked to my dad, but my dad never applied that pressure of you have to go to school. That was never a conversation. And I think it's important. I was always given the free will, but my parents always made an effort to show interest in what I was doing. Even to this day, as I said, you understand your parents more as you get older. When I go home and I tell them about the clients I signed or the deal or the amount of, you know, the income that we get to bring in now every month because we sign these clients or, you know, the ideas that I have, I'll actually notice that they show so much interest that it actually makes me want to show interest in what they're doing. So now I'll find myself, you know, and this is just in the last few months, I've noticed this. I find myself like, hey dad, like, did you close that client? You know, and my like, they don't need a close client. Like they're fine, right? But it's showing that level of interest because now I'm realizing more and more like your parents sacrificed like 18, 19 years of just showing pure interest without ever getting asked a question back about how they feel.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, oh my God, like they really put in a lot of time. And I think I just understand that more. I don't know why. I don't know why. What about me? I think maybe doing a lot of interviews, talking with people, you learn a lot.
Maybe taking on responsibility for a team. It's kind of like a parenting role.
I think you have to be humble when, like you would know, you have to be humble when you have a team. Like you can't be like a know-it-all. And actually that's really interesting that you said that. Kevin is a great example. Kev is our project manager and he has always like, we've gotten into some heated things and to the point where we almost like parted ways. Like it was like, yeah, Kevin's not going to work at Vision Luxx anymore. But thankfully for him, he said, Sam, we need to talk about this and broke it down for me about how he saw it. That paired with, you know, some past experience about hiring and firing and dealing with people, that really taught me a lot. And Kev in specific really taught me a lot just about understanding from the working perspective, you know, he does a lot behind the scenes that I don't even see that if he didn't do, I would notice in a bad way. And he explains that to me. You know, he explains, hey, maybe you should like bring a counselor in once every 4 months. Show interest, like show that you care. Ask me how my weekend was. Or I'm like, all right. So we implement Pizza Fridays.
There you go.
Cost me $200 a month. But hey, it's worth it.
Exactly.
You know, if it makes the team happy, at the end of the day, like you said, you're in a people game.
100%.
Once you can sign a bunch of clients, you can keep signing clients. The capacity
exactly.
is the hard thing to manage. I bet you a lot of people want 416 coffee, But do you have the capacity to just get to 100 stores right away?
No, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And then you have to build systems to train people, this, that, the other, right? So it is scaling people is the hardest part. It's obviously the best part. And it is, I mean, that's the part that's not proprietary. That's the part that you kind of just need to experience to learn. Like, I don't think you can read a book and be like, I now understand how to scale people in a business, right?
It's so
like
individualistic.
100%.
It's so custom.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't walk into your business. I could walk in with ideas, but I couldn't walk into your business and just come up with solutions to problems right away because like I'd have to seek them. I'd have to understand the industry and I'd have to walk in and experience the bad. Like, oh my God, man, the amount I've learned from hiring people is like next to none. I mean, you learn so much about human behavior and, you know, like, and everything, like I could go and blame, you know, some of the people that have worked for us in the past. And I could say to myself like, oh, they did a horrible job. Well, okay, hold on a second. You can think that, but look at it from their perspective. What things did you do that really affected their decision and made them not want to work there? Right. And it kind of challenges you to think. Good leaders always are challenging themselves to think. If you don't challenge yourself to think, good luck running a $500 million a year business.
Yeah.
No,
Seriously.
Fuck, 100%. All
You know
right,
what I mean?
Sam,
Talk to me.
rapid fire, last question. Okay, ready?
me.
You're just going to go right now.
Go.
Chat GPT.
Horrible. It's not custom at all. I don't like it.
Do you think it's going to get there? Yes or no?
Yes.
When?
10 years.
I agree. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sam, Vision Luxx. Sam,
Great
thanks so much,
episode.
man. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Boys,
for
you
coming
asked
on,
some
man.
really good questions. Seriously, thank you so much for having me on.
Buddy, that was a great
appreciate it,
ripper.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
All
definitely
energy
share this
as
one.
always.
No,
Yeah,
fuck.
beautiful.
Full of
Let's do
energy.
it.
It was awesome.
Anytime you need the energy, I'm always going to bring
Yes.
it. Don't worry.
Buddy, that's it. Okay.
It's beautiful.
Boys,
Guys, like,
thank you so much.
like,
comment, subscribe.
Fuck. Follow Sam.
No, give
all
these
the
guys
shit's
a
linked
follow.
behind.
They're the ones that had me on.
But boom.
She belongs to the streets.